Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta, I think.
Oh, nice. You got the blue solo cup.
Yeah, I don't know
Panther
where they
Solo
get these
Cup.
out. Yeah.
It's not
Is that
plastic,
the-
though, right? It's like a
It's
cup.
plastic, but it's like a thicker plastic.
A hard,
Yeah.
not a disposable plastic, an
Yeah.
actual keepsake souvenir cup. Souvenir cup, something we've talked about, how we don't have souvenir cups before.
Souvenir
That's
cups.
cool. That's a cool souvenir cup, to tell you the truth. I like the nicer solo cup.
The nostalgia of a solo cup too.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I got, for my kids, gave me some of the nicer solo cups, but it's also like the aluminum inside to it. And it just doesn't have like the taste, the touch it's weird. It's off, and of course they complain when I don't use it. So anyhow, welcome back, guys. Doing this a day later, which turned out pretty well. We tricked the interwebs with not recording last night, and news dropped today that those yellow bellied jackets canceled our stupid game.
I think they're like honeybees, though. I'm pretty sure.
Are they bumbly?
I know all the Georgia fans call them bees.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I
they're
don't know.
confused. So, they've got the honeycomb stuff and all that. So I'm pretty sure they're bees, not yellow jackets.
Yeah, we looked that up, though. You may have forgotten, Ryan. We looked it up, and the yellow jackets also have honeycomb structure. It's just a natural thing. They make it circle, and then it compresses into a honeycomb thing. So.
Bullshit. Quit lying to me.
So what was your immediate reaction when you saw the game got canceled?
I mean, well, primarily someone tipped us off at some point a month ago, weeks ago, that it was going to happen, or maybe they even said it when we played them the very first game at Tech, and I was drunkenly forgot about it. But then I think someone reminded me, and I was like, really? They sign up for the series and they're going to cancel it halfway and screw us over on would be good ticket revenue and good concessions revenue and good publicity for Georgia State and good everywhere, except I guess they want more money elsewhere.
Do you think it would have been
would we have made $1 million in all that stuff?
No.
You know what I mean? And that's what we're making thanks to the cancellation. So
yeah, we get $1 million out of it, which is great. But I don't know. It'd be just that experience of having Tech in the stadium. It would probably end up being more like a Tech home game, because all of the people that go to the Tech games already are just going to come. And obviously we know how much we struggle with home attendance. It would be a better attended game by Georgia State fans than we've had.
Yeah.
But I still think it would have been dominated by whatever that color of yellowish mucus color they wear. They have so many colors. We talk about the blue color, but like we're
yellow.
Just dumb. We're just dumb. We can't figure out what color blue we are. But they have like yellow. They got gold. They have that really
goldish yellow.
Well,
yellow.
So many colors.
Their official color is gold, but they
Right.
wear a lot of yellow, and that's another problem. So if the honeycomb thing is true, which I seriously doubt,
the yellow.
they still don't know colors.
Right. When you have yellow jacket as your mascot, you would think you would just set it. I know they're trying to be like all fancy with the gold, but you would just say no. It's yellow.
They want to be Notre Dame, right? That's what they want.
It's kind of funny they're not yellow and black, really, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's bad for fans on both sides. Like literally, I had Tech fans reaching out to me like, "This sucks. Why did we do this?" Like, it's bad for both fan bases. It just is. Like, it doesn't matter what the excuse is that there's seemingly lots of them, and Poverty U is one of them. Like, oh, we didn't want to come to your poverty stadium. I'm like, okay, sure,
it's nicer than yours.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I know they've got some history in there, and they've won national championships,
sure,
and all that stuff. But ours is nicer. So please be careful the shit you're talking.
Their history is underneath their bleachers, the stadium they just built on top of, right?
Well, and it's a distant history too. So like before my time.
It's funny you say that, Tim, because like the social media comments, whatever, so much of it from the Tech fans were like, good, don't need to have a non-competitive game, just trash talking Georgia State and the program and everything, and they're happy about it.
Do they think Tennessee's going to be competitive with them because they're just going to lose like we would have?
Yeah, Tennessee's going to knock the doors off of Georgia Tech.
That's the other thing. That's two losses almost guaranteed both years. Like, what are you doing? I mean, unless you're so confident that you're going to win 10 games, I just don't see it. I know they have a good recruiting class, but it's still Tech. Who knows?
I mean, they have the right attitude, I guess. They're coaching. They're scheduling. Like, they expect to be at that level of Tennessee to keep it competitive. But I don't think the fans can necessarily assume that's going to be a good game for them at this point. Tennessee should, for all intents and purposes, just steamroll them right there in their home field. So.
Is it at home? They got an additional home game out of the deal?
It's a home and a home. It's here and then at Knoxville. And I think the game here is on when we're supposed to be playing them in 2026.
So do we think
I think that's what happened.
Did Tennessee reach out and they're like, "Hey, we want to schedule a home and home, but we need it in 2026. You down for canceling
I don't know.
Games?
I don't know. So, Ben posted the contract on Panther Talk that showed the buyout being $1 million, but only if it was canceled in under 25 months. So, which is under 25 months. So it's otherwise it would only been 750, which is still great. I love getting an extra $750,000, but I feel like if Tech had really been like the one pushing for this, they would have done something. They would have canceled, and maybe they did notify Charlie beforehand, because
like this is gonna get canceled,
and nothing's been said about it. But which is weird that they wouldn't say anything. But Cobb's weird. Who knows? But yeah, if Tech did it, I feel like they would have figured something out, a few months ago.
He let All Blue All Nil know, and they just didn't ever put the press release out. So
their official news source. Huh?
I get it from Tech's perspective. I understand why they would want to play Tennessee instead. It'll definitely be big attended game for them. It'll get probably good TV exposure. I get all the reasons why the fans are saying this is good for Tech. They're not wrong. It sucks for us.
It does. It was a marquee game to put in Center Park Stadium.
Oh, it would hands down be the best attended game that we had there, and mean more than any game we played.
I think when it got announced, I seem to remember, or sometime in between, really, it was talked about like maybe they won't end up coming to our house anyway. Like the probability was already being talked about, So I feel like it
happens. It seems like for whatever reason, it seems like it happens a lot with these P5, G5 home and homes that you kind of want to get them at your house first, because if the return trips to you, they'll find a way to push it back or to cancel altogether. And that's what happened here. They didn't push this back. They didn't say, all right, let's try this again in 2032 or 2034. Like the Memphis game got pushed back so far from the hurricane or whatever the hell it was. They got that game moved.
Well, what is the going rate right now for a G5 program going to a P5 home game?
I mean, I think that
I forget
some schools some schools are getting paid as high as $1.5 million to go to a P for a G5 to go to a P5 or P4.
Basically, we got $1 million to go to their house is what it all sort of comes out to, and we have a scheduling issue that we got to figure out.
And it's and because Cobb's being the one who schedules football games, we already had an opening in 2026, and now we have two. Now we have a home opening and an away opening, so we're looking for 2 spots. I went kind of briefly through what the schedules were for all the different teams, and nothing great. I think that there's plenty of SEC teams and a few ACC teams that have a home slot available. I don't see really any of them wanting to make an away trip. There's a few of them that have some spots, but I just don't really see that. I don't think there's an SEC or an ACC team we could actually get to show up. Maybe Kentucky. That's about it. The other options are like
FCS. How are you?
Well, we already have an FCS team on the schedule, and so we can't. We could schedule another FCS team for a home game, but it wouldn't count towards bowl eligibility if we should win it.
So we had one problem, and now we have 2.
Now we got 2. I think what's going to happen is we're going to end up playing at an SEC or ACC school, and then we'll probably have a Conference USA team that'll come here. Western Kentucky is kind of like the one that looks the best to me.
Okay.
As far as
If they're available, I don't hate it.
Yeah, there it would also be like this in Conference USA, Western Kentucky, New Mexico State. I don't see that happening just for the distance and the fact that we played in the conference before for a couple of seasons. I just don't see that happening. Louisiana Tech, maybe. I don't know if they would be interested in coming up here at all. And then Jacksonville State, who is hosting Trash Down South the same season. I don't know if they would want to play both Georgia schools, and I don't really want to play Jacksonville State, but whatever. I think Western Kentucky out of Conference USA is the best bet.
All right, well, shoot a pen over an email to Cobb. Let him know.
I mean, there's also some American teams. ECU or FAU have openings. They can come up here.
I wouldn't mind FAU coming up here.
FAU would it be good? Would be
make
nice.
That
ECU, I think would. I think also USF.
Don't hate that either.
Yeah. So those are a couple.
What are you saving all the good ones to the very end?
That's all I got, really. I mean, unless you want to talk about Kent State with a Mac.
No,
they're looking.
No. Did we have them on the schedule? Who'd we have on the schedule during COVID that canceled?
Murray State.
Yeah.
Which we play them next 2026 or this year. This year, right? We have Murray State this year. That rescheduled here. Yeah. The funny thing about Kent State, looking at the schedule, they only have one. Their future schedules is like the most empty of anybody. They have one game scheduled in 2026 and one game scheduled in 2030, and they have two scheduled in 2028. That's it. That's all they have scheduled for future schedules.
Like, last minute, there'll be something.
4 games. And it's not even in like consecutive years. They have one in 2026 scheduled, nothing 2027, 2 in 2028, nothing in 29, and 1 in 2030, and nothing beyond that. It's just, I don't know if Kent cares about scheduling games, or they just feel like, well, we'll just figure out that year. Whoever gets scheduled, whenever Tennessee cancels on, or Georgia Tech cancels on to with Tennessee or whatever that crap is. You know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I think I know it. I think I know what I'm trying to say.
So yeah, it's a bummer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It seems like all our fans are kind of pissed off. Tech fans are kind of like, at least the ones that are rational, like, this sucks. You know,
right.
the other Tech fans are just assholes, but they were the assholes before they announced this. So it's really just par for the course for them, right? Nothing's changed.
The one thing that really annoys me the most about it is when we set up that home and home with Kennesaw State, we took the away game first because it's that year, because we didn't really have a home slot available, and now we have that home slot available, so we could have gotten Kennesaw State to play here first before we go up there. I feel like when you do those home and homes, the bigger program, the more respected program, tends to be the home team first. And we did not get that. We're making Kennesaw State look like the bigger thing. Oh, look, WreckTalk. I didn't even notice that.
Oh, look, what they said.
Not assholes.
Oh.
Not you, man. You're fine. A lot of the social media guys out there were just being, arrogant pricks.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything from WreckTalk. How about that?
Yeah, I haven't seen any posts from him. Give us your thoughts. I'm assuming you probably think it's a good thing. You're probably looking forward to having Tennessee on the schedule a couple times. I don't know if you're going to perform as well against them as we did, but give them your best shot, guys. So
it happens.
Yeah. So
it's just disappointing. See. I think my perspective is disappointing. Like, in some of the comments from Tech fans on Twitter are just like, whatever. Calling our stadium poor, like, it's dumb.
Right.
Is he bumping you, David?
I don't even know what he's talking about right now. I'm trying to reply to him, but yeah.
I don't see anything from him. So I think
you don't see any comments from him?
No, social media comments.
Oh yeah, no. What's he messaging on Twitter there? So
I still, and this is like the libertarian saying this even, but like the city of Atlanta really should have invested in the game and having this like crosstown rivalry and like done some events around it and offered like a some kind of Atlanta award, for the winner, and maybe it sticks with Tech for a while, but it could have been like a fun thing to build up and good for the city. So it's a little frustrating for it to go away. But I mean, I don't think that investment was going to be made anyway. So
yeah. So I think what he's asking about is WreckTalk talks about is off the schedule. Yeah, we have announced our AD. Charlie Cobb posted that the game between Tech and State has been canceled. Disappointingly, has been canceled, and then we'll. You guys are making Charlie actually do something. He actually has to get up and make a phone call and talk to somebody. I can send you my list of teams. I can send you my list of teams that are. South Carolina was also another team that's a possibility. Get Coach Elliott to bring South Carolina down here.
Yeah.
Also, Georgia does have an opening. Georgia does have an opening for that year. It would definitely have to be an away game, but I don't see them doing it. I think they're probably holding out to try to get something like one of these big ACC or Big Ten matchups or something like that for week 1, because they don't have anything scheduled week 1 yet at all. So,
WreckTalk, I see your comment. I don't know how to drop you a link, but you can head to GeorgiaStateSports.com and it'll be on the front page.
I'm going to drop the press
link.
Release to him there. So,
but
so that's that. Maybe I can't send him a response. Just go to GeorgiaStateSports.com. It's the very first thing up there. So, all right. What else we got? What else we got besides that? Spring game this Friday.
Black versus blue.
Right? It says that, but then the rosters came out for the teams, and it's the blue team and the white team.
They're just colors.
So no idea what to expect. But yeah, I think it may have been blue and black, and they changed it after that came out, because I definitely saw things saying blue versus black, but then the rosters came out today, and it was definitely blue team, white team. So who knows? But that'd be fun. I have to leave a little early, but I'll be there for the beginning of it. Get some tailgating in, some pre-gaming in there.
I was gonna say, what is the tailgate plan? Because I can take most of the day off.
I'm gonna take the day. I just decided to take the whole day off.
Yeah. My boss just told me today that he's gonna take the day off, and I was like, oh, I'm me too.
You're like, oh, okay. I will do that.
How do I fix this? Let's see if we can do this here.
Do what? What are we doing?
Try to see if we can get WreckTalk to join us here.
Oh, that'd be cool.
He's asking. I may have to go through here and edit some of this crap out. This dead time while we figure this out. What is it?
All right.
Like a few minutes in.
We could figure that out for last call too, maybe.
I mean, I guess talking about from their perspective, I get it. There's more money there, right? And this is kind of like the future anyway, if you're just seeing it now a little soon, right? P5 teams kind of whittling down that G5 or FCS schedule and only playing other P5s. So I don't know if that quite links up with Georgia Tech, but that's probably part of that direction everything's headed in college athletics overall.
Yeah.
So, but it still sucks, man. I was excited about that game. Super excited about hosting Tech.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I remember when we got that. I think it was another case of we'd recorded the episode of that week's episode, and this was during pandemic times. And the next morning, we got that notification about playing Tech, and I'm like, of course, this comes out. We have to sit down at a week to talk about it. But I mean, I remember people talk about where they were when they found out JFK got shot or when 9/11 happened or something like that. I remember I vividly remember sitting at my desk finding out that we were playing Tech and just losing my mind over the whole thing about having them come to Center Park. Hell, mate, was even Center Park back then? Maybe it's still in Georgia State Stadium.
It probably still was Georgia State Stadium, yeah.
All right, there he is. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys? Pretty good.
Again. Yeah. Dude, I think I made a comment about this last time, but I like the blue and white background behind you. It kind of makes you look like you're a Georgia State fan.
That's why I came on, for you to tell me how great everything I have behind me is. No, blue and white. I didn't realize that this bumped y'all off, I guess, the 2026. Was it 26 and 27 or just 26?
Just 26. Yeah.
That stinks, man, because I think I mentioned y'all. I did a video on, like, I don't know why the NCAA gives a crap whether Dion and Fran Brown play a spring game. And I was like, man, it would make all the sense in the world for us to play a spring game, just to do a scrimmage in the spring. Mm-hmm. And I hate that bumped y'all off the schedule, man, because part of what's going on in college football, it's all in the name of, like, making parity not as much of an issue or a thing. And really it's driving it the other way, right? So every decision that's made by a school right now is almost purely financial, and it's making college football worse. That's why I was excited about this, because Tech and Tennessee have a lot of history. A lot of teams are not scheduling Power 5 or Power 4, whatever we're calling it now, opponents, because all the coaches in the SEC, like Lane Crybaby, think that their problems are their non-con schedule and playing a team like Tech, when it's not. It's that you spent $20 million on a roster that didn't make the playoffs. So I hate that for y'all, man. Like, I really do.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I don't know how early you tuned in or everything. I understand. We all understand it from Tech's perspective. How it's a better payday for Tech. It's a better for the fans. I get all of that. I should say better for the fans. I think that playing State and Tech playing is really good for the Tech fans as well as the Georgia State fans. But I understand the financial reasons for it. It's a real bummer to have these two teams and the game to be just straight up canceled, not postponed, not pushed back. They could push us back 5 years and say, well, we'll do it in 2030 or 2032 or something like that, and just have it hanging out there. But no, just straight up canceled, and having you guys forking over $1 million. We'll take that gladly. I think Ryan's first comment on socials was like, cash that check.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing. Go ahead.
I was just say, cash that check quickly. Don't wait. That'd be a thing for us to do.
There's nothing we won't do for money right now, man. We're selling our own home games. Like, we're playing Georgia at the Benz for $10 million. Like, we're getting a clear $10 million to go do that. And it's pissing off a lot of Georgia Tech fans. And I get it, because that's not included in your season tickets now, which it normally would. So that's the thing, man. Like, all these changes that are happening are a big middle finger to the college football fan. Like canceling all your spring games. Anything that's good for the college football fan, screw you guys, because give me money. I hate it. I hate it. Yeah. You would think at some point it's got to run the other way, but I don't know when.
Well, I think what we've talked about. I think what's going to happen is when you do see that next step, or maybe it's 2 steps from now, is going to be that breakaway they talk about, that the top 30 or 40 teams in the power conferences that kind of go off and do their minor NFL league separately, and then what's left of FBS kind of could return to what college amateur sports was supposed to be, but you're going to do it without the biggest dogs, and I don't mean Georgia, but you're going to do it without the biggest programs that are the storied programs. But
are you talking about like the new court ruling where they're proposing a bill to make the A, B, C, E, F, G, whatever?
Not necessarily that. I foresee a point in time where there's just going to be that clear cut breakaway where it's effectively the brand becomes just a team. It's probably not even connected to the university other than name alone, and just effectively a minor league. Which a minor league that probably generates as much money as the NFL.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's something that, like, because if you look at any college football video right now, it's someone's face like this, and then so-and-so to the SEC, and then flames in the background. And I feel like I'm one of the only ones that's like, okay, you're assuming that all of these media deals are just going to keep doing this. And that defies financial calculus. Have you looked at the stock market lately? It rebounded some today, but it's not. The point is that money that you think is just going to keep increasing might not. At some point, it's going to have to plateau or come back down. Also, like the issues you're seeing with the Major League and the NBA, one of the issues is they have so many regular season games that it devalues those games, and that's resulted in a decline. What are we doing in college football right now? We're adding more games and more games. And you're adding teams to conferences. So now what are you going to play 9-10 conference games? And that sucks for schools like you. What are you going to do? Like, I would rather bump Mercer off the 2026
That was
schedule.
strange. That was strange to me that Mercer didn't get the bump over Georgia State. Yeah.
I don't understand that. Like, what classification is Mercer?
They're FCS.
But I mean, ours was a home game for us, so it makes more sense to bump us off just so they don't have to travel. I guess I don't know. Maybe you get another home game out of the deal.
Well, yeah, they got the Tennessee game out of it. So.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I guess. Yeah,
we got some unfinished business with them anyways.
Away.
You know, they threw orange paint in 1963 on the Ramblin' Wreck, and those sons of bitches have got it coming. I mean, that's just what it is. So I know y'all got caught in the crossfire, but
I grew up in Athens, so I have a healthy dislike for that puke orange.
Well, our private group chat was a little torn from people saying that we should go to the game and actually actively root against Tech, root for Tennessee just because of this happening.
No,
but there's if I were you, that's what I would do because I'm petty like that. I would 100% root against Tech if I were y'all.
Nah, I'm petty in FNC.
Well, actually, I don't know, Ryan and Tim. I don't know if you guys know this because I just saw it right before we came. We came on. It was also announced today that Kennesaw is playing at Tennessee the same year.
I have a disdain for Kennesaw right now because they completely screwed their own coach for no good reason. You know, Kennesaw makes this move to Division I football or whatever it's called with no plan and no money to do it. I don't know. It's not my business what you make for whatever you do for a living, but there's a good likelihood it's more than their average coach makes. Their average coach makes like $70,000 a year, and then they fire. That's true. That's a fact. Just like in Tombstone. Is that a fact? That's a fact. So their facilities include an old rundown office park and a Casio wristwatch and some pocket lint. So I don't know what they're expecting to do, but like they don't even have half of what like Jacksonville State has. So I don't know what they're thinking they're going to do. We'll see. I suppose they did upset Liberty. So.
Yeah. For like their only, or I could say they had like one of two wins last year, and that came out of nowhere. But yeah, I guess they're supposedly building a new football stadium on the other side of 75, not necessarily on campus over there, but yeah, because they're playing in a facility. Yeah, they're playing in a facility that would not be, adequate for FBS if the 15,000 attendance was still a requirement. They got rid of. We had so many teams moving up to FBS from FCS. They actually got rid of the rule that said you have to average 15,000 fans. Because I think that Kennesaw State, Tim, you probably know exactly because you went and saw soccer there. It's only like 6,000-7,000 people that it fits, right?
Something like that. I mean, it's like I think it's 10 or 11 now. They've added a little bit
soccer
to
field.
It. Yeah,
it's a soccer field. Yeah,
I've been there.
I don't know if that new stadium thing is actually going to happen now that requirement kind of went away. There's no reason for them to do it. Yeah.
What does it cost to build a new stadium?
There are some I think Tulane did something. They did like some. You've seen those houses that just come on the back of a bed of a truck and just the modular type things. They've literally got that for football stadiums, and I think that's what Tulane did. And I want to say I'm probably pulling this out of my ass. I want to say it was like $40 million or something like that. But
that's a lot of money for Kennesaw
I think they were playing in the Superdome before that, and it actually bumped their attendance when they actually got their own stadium. That's what was discussed. That was one of the options that they had for us when we bought Turner Field. They were talking about tearing the whole thing down and buying one of these $40 million things.
No. Why would you do that?
We got an MLB stadium. Let's an Olympic class stadium.
We have an Olympic stadium we can play in. Yeah. Let's keep that.
We at least made that decision right.
Yep.
Yeah, you know how mad I would be if however many 100 wins of 3 Hall of Fame pitchers and you tore that stadium down, there'd be hell to pay for that.
Yeah. It was actually funny when COVID happened and Toronto wasn't able. The players couldn't travel to Toronto to play the Blue Jays, so they were looking for a stadium to play inside in the United States to have like a one season played away, and they literally called up and said, "Hey, what's up with the Turner Field? We heard that Georgia State bought it. Can we use it for play baseball? Like, man, if you want to have the shortest outfield in all of history, because we put some really unmovable stands out there, some big, huge concrete blocks out there. You can't play baseball there anymore.
Yeah.
Man.
So
I would have liked to go. So I haven't been to a home game for Georgia State. So I kind of hate. Maybe I will this year. I'm sure we'll be on a bye week, and y'all won't. Maybe I'll be playing home one of our bye weeks this year, and I'll come over.
Yeah, well, if you do, most definitely hit us up at our tailgate, and we'll treat you well. We'll let you know which tailgate to come to. We may have a pizza oven. We may have some barbecue. We may have some. The Memphis game would be a good one to come to. I think we're going to do some good barbecue for the Memphis game this year. But I don't know how that. I think that's towards the beginning of the season, so you guys probably are playing that day. So.
Do you provide ladies?
Provide.
We're looking at
it. We'll talk to you off camera about that exactly.
Yeah. The menu. Okay, good deal. Yeah, us nerds, we like to get down.
Yeah, we've seen the movies. We know.
Well, darn. So I guess now you've got to, in a year, figure out someone to take that spot, which I would imagine y'all probably already talked about it. It's not super easy.
No.
I don't know. There are a lot of teams out there that don't have a full schedule. So, and I just looked at the Conference USA American MAC from the G5 perspective, and I looked at SEC and ACC from the P4 perspective. I did not look at any of the Big 10, Big 12 teams. I don't think that really makes a lot of sense for us unless they want to come play us. But I think we'll find an SEC or ACC team that we can visit and probably pull in another a G5 team, G6 team, whatever they're calling themselves nowadays, to come here. So that means we kind of double dip. We get paid for the Tech game, and then we get paid by another SEC, ACC team. So
there you go. I hope you schedule an SEC team, because a lot of them are canceling their power non-con games because they're babies. So right. I would love for them to complain that their issues not making the playoffs are playing a Power 5 non-con game, and then you beat them. I would laugh for 5 years straight over
that. Yeah, Kentucky I think is the best bet we have as far as an SEC team that would come make the trip down here. Just looking at who's available, who has that opening. Because a team like Texas doesn't have an away game scheduled yet, and I'm like, they're not gonna. And Texas is not going to come to Atlanta to play Georgia State. That's just not in the books. But I could see Kentucky doing it. A team like Ole Miss may do it, but we're already playing them this year here, so I don't see them wanting to come out here after paying us to go out there this year. So Vandy's probably not going to do it. They don't want to play us 3 years in a row. So
South Carolina would be an interesting matchup.
South Carolina would be an interesting one with our head coach tuck and tail and heading up there. But they don't have their away series is set, but we could travel back up there. And man, that is a shithole of a town if you've never been before.
Oh, yes. So I had a South Carolina fan on where we just trashed every fan base we could think of. We actually ranked them on a tier list. And they have 2 Hall of Fame coaches that could give less than a crap about them. Lou Holtz.
Yep.
When he's associated with Notre Dame, he's more closely associated with the Jets than South Carolina at this point. And then Steve Spurrier, who only coached there because he got to play the Masters a few times, Augusta National. So they're in a bad way. Georgia Tech's won more SEC championships than them. We haven't been in the SEC since 1963. Wow.
yeah. South Carolina's never, because they just joined in the SEC in like the early 90s or something like that, right?
Yeah. They've never won anything. They've never won anything. Period.
I remember old roommates of mine went to UGA, sitting over at our apartment watching UGA South Carolina game. I know. And the South Carolina was winning, and a female friend came over to the apartment, and she's like, "You're losing to South Carolina? Don't they suck?"
Yes. That's bad when some random female can spit that fact at you.
Exactly.
This is bad, right? Okay, bad. Yeah. I was there when they got beat by South Carolina with old Jake Fromm. I just went because I grew up in Winder, which is very near Athens. And I was like, oh, that's a game they'll probably win, and he'll be happy. And I ended up being happy.
So you were thrilled, weren't you?
Yeah. It was the first time since they ranked teams, I think, that a top 5 team had lost at home to an unranked team.
That sounds like something would happen from a team from Georgia.
I can't stand them. Cannot stand them. They got issues.
You are a true Tech fan, because if you said anything other than that, I would have to, stamp your gold, yellow card, whatever color you guys have this week.
You have not the hatred, because I grew up near there, so I had to hear all these inbred morons spouting whatever they're going to spout, and they still do in my comments.
Ryan grew up in Athens. He's one of the inbred morons.
Minus Ryan.
Got out of there.
Sorry, Ryan. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's not because look, y'all can just go with, hey, we win this, that, and the other. We won 3 times this century. And then I'll go personal because I can't go football, right? That's why I go with the inbred thing. And then your best response on that is like, well, you're a nerd. It's like, okay, so your best response is I'm smarter than all of you, and I'll take that. And that's just kind of how
to be fair, if they're inbred, pretty much everybody's smarter than them. So that's just the way it goes, right?
Is there any anomalies? Is there any inbred geniuses out there? That would be
probably
interesting.
There's
got to be, right? Got to be. This is a dice roll of DNA.
Yeah. Also, we're all a little inbred, so
Hey, this is
if you go back 5, however many generations is it, where you're guaranteed that everyone alive today is related to 7 generations back?
Well, they said if you go back, every single president is related to each other, with the exception of Trump. He's the only one that does not share some kind of lineage with every other president. Including Obama and George Washington. Somehow, some way, there's a DNA mixture out there, which is crazy to me.
People can trace their lineage back to either Genghis Khan or Charlemagne. They had a lot of babies.
Yeah. So you're telling me George Bush is distantly related to Barack Obama?
Somehow, some way, yes.
That's an awesome fact.
That's crazy.
Right? And that even more funny is the fact that Trump is the only one that's not related.
How did he evade this? What's going on in his family tree?
Maybe that's the inbred tree. Maybe that's why they just stayed together the entire time.
No comment. No comment.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
We're gonna go finish up a little bit on this other crap we can figure out, and let's reconnect, and hopefully, if you come out to a game, let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Be more than happy to have you over there. So even if you guys have a late game or a Thursday game, well, we have a Thursday game, right? Are we hosting a Thursday game this year?
Yeah,
I think we're hosting, right?
Sometime mid to late October.
Yeah, I think we have
As a potential wedding date, the next day, the Friday.
Ryan's getting
at the stadium.
You're getting married in the football season?
Yeah, well, not on a Saturday.
On a Friday,
bruh.
I know.
Bruh.
The first thing I said was, well, the schedule's not out yet, so if you want to do it in the fall, there's a couple Saturdays that probably aren't going to be good. And I got, oh, really? And I'm like, look, I only asked for 6 Saturdays a year to not schedule this. All right. So we worked it out. So maybe the game could be like a bachelor thing, and then the next day roll into the wedding. So.
Which means there would be ladies there. So we can fulfill that. Actually, October 23rd. October 23rd is a Thursday game against South Alabama, and Tech hosts Syracuse for homecoming that Saturday. So you could come out to a Thursday night game. We'll be there all
Halloween.
day.
Yeah. I could dress up in something silly. So
there you go. Yeah.
All right, man.
You can dress up like a Georgia State fan. That's pretty silly.
Come on, man. No, I wouldn't do that. That's not silly. Well, all right. I appreciate you guys having me on. I love everybody, unless you're a Georgia fan. If you're a Georgia fan, the hell with you. And I hope the very worst for you.
And if you include Georgia Southern in that mix as well, we hate them.
We can jive them.
Georgia Southern, when I graduated, had the highest STD rate amongst their student population of any school, I think. So that's
they might still. I don't know.
I've referred to Statesboro as the petri dish of Georgia. It's all got all kinds of bacteria and germs swimming around there. So
Ain't much to do in Bullitt County. You guys have a good one.
All right, that was fun, unexpected, and good time. Good to get a
and educational. We informed him that they canceled our game.
Yeah. We got the WreckTalk fresh off the presses. Like his initial reaction was with us. So
exactly. All right. So spring game, we talked about it a little bit. It says Friday. We'll be there early. Don't know everything yet, but come out early. We'll hang out. I mean, it may be just us hanging out around Woods Chapel or something like that, but hopefully we'll be in the green lot doing stuff. They have that Masters thing they're doing for people that actually give money to the school, but I wasn't invited, so I'm not going to that.
What time is the spring game again? 4
o'clock, 4 p.m.
Okay.
And they're doing the Greeks are playing like a flag football game or something at halftime.
Okay.
I'll pay as much attention to that as I do the practice. Yeah, actually, probably maybe pay more attention to it. I saw something also in the tweets coming out, and they were calling like A-ban student athletes for autographs and stuff like that. A-ban, I come on using this ABAN everything, and I was going to come on here and be like, "What? Do you guys know? Is this some kind of term or slang or a group or organization I'm not aware of?" And I figured it out. A-ban is all blue, all NIL.
All right.
It's all blue. It's all blue, all nil, right?
It could be a banal. It could be a banal.
Maybe they didn't like nil, and they were like, "Man, it does really say that. Like, if you look at it, it just says all blue, all nil. Maybe we should change it to A-ban."
Do you want if they put dots in the NIL? Will that make you feel better if they do all blue, all N period I period L period? Would that be all blue, all NIL to you? Then or hyphens?
There's no spaces anywhere in that. Then I don't know. No, that's not.
Actually, it's all capitalized.
I mean, it would help me do that, but it's all blue on nil because
it's going to be all blue, all nil for you forever.
If you're going to pronounce it that way, with NIL being all capitalized, you should pronounce it all blue, all nil. Like you have to exclamate it. It's all caps, so it's being yelled. It's being yelled at you, shouted at you. All blue, all nil. So. All right. Staying on football, something I didn't mention to you guys beforehand because I forgot about it was College Football News put out their preseason rankings of Sunbelt football programs.
So we're like top 5, right?
Top 5 in the East. Yeah, we are top 5 in the East. We clock in as the 5th best team in the East. They didn't distinguish divisions. They just put 1 through 14 ranking, and they have Georgia State clocking in at 11. 11 in conference.
Wow, that's pretty low.
No? Embarrassing.
I mean, we didn't do too well last year when all was said and done, but 11th?
I want to argue it. I want to say it's dumb, but yeah, based off our performance last season and the losing people and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to really. I don't know what to do there, but yeah, they have us 11th. The funny thing is, they have Marshall, the reigning conference champion, dead last, 14 in conference.
Well, they lost their head coach, and he took the entire team with them, right?
And their leading returning rusher is a kicker. So,
and that.
So I guess it's just weird to see a team like go from first to but literally, if there's nothing really coming back, how can you even rank them? You have no idea.
Yeah, I guess for us, I get it, but also this is good stuff for Coach A.D. McGee to use for motivating the team. 11th, God. Ooh.
Do you guys want to know who's first?
That hurts.
Yes. Can you guys guess who's first?
The purple people, of course.
Yep. Jimmy Madison.
They're always first, right? I mean, them and App and.
You want to take a gander at who's second overall? You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it at all.
I don't need to know.
Then don't tell us. We don't want to know.
Cool.
Some unknown team is second.
Yep. Sounds like them.
Wow, really? Second? Okay, interesting.
Yep. So teams behind us are Old Dominion, Monroe, and Marshall. Marshall ranked even below Monroe.
That's crazy. I mean, I get it. They lost their head coach and everything, but to drop to the bottom of the conference from first to last.
And another thing I thought was really surprising about it was they have Appy State ranked 10th, one spot above us, Appy State.
Was that because
This
they
could
had
be
a
the
bad
year, Ryan.
season?
Ryan, this could be the
Ryan,
year.
this is the year.
10
Yeah, they're
versus
ranked higher
11.
than this even. What are you talking about? Not the year.
Ryan, this is a
They are
home
here,
game.
right? So-
Home game this year. Home game.
But we're worse at home.
Our record at home is not good.
Can we switch it to an away game? Just say, hey, look, we
Can
can't.
we just play you guys away until we win?
All right. What else? Freddie Brock went to OK State.
Good for him. Take the money.
I know we've talked about it before, but it still irritates me every time we have a player that goes to a bigger program, and all the accolades they get from other Georgia State fans, like best of luck, we'll be rooting for you. What I'm like, no, you're dead to me. You're dead to me.
I won't pay attention to him. I know from history now. Why would I follow? I don't care about that team. Why would I follow it?
I can't remember. Tim, I don't think you were there, but Ryan, we got to meet him at
nice.
one of those events.
The preseason event.
Yeah, it was at one of that place over by Eventide.
Yeah, and super cool guy, super nice guy. As an individual, as a person, I hope he succeeds at life. He was a nice guy, but as a college athlete, I couldn't care any less about what he does from now on, unless he balls out big time, makes the NFL,
and gives us $1 million
on Monday Night Football. He announced when they say name he's like Freddie Brock, Georgia State University.
Well, while he's shedding tears about how you don't want to follow him anymore, he'll just dab those tears with his money rolls, just to make sure that he's cleaning up his face.
Yeah, wiping his face with some Benjamins and just tossing them in the trash can. Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. No hate there. Sound
chase that dollar. Chase that dollar. One of the things that McGee preached about, in the preseason last year was talking about how great it is to play at Georgia State because of having Atlanta in your backyard, or not even your backyard, your actual home. And if professional sports don't work out in your life, the connections you have the ability to make while you're in college playing football, playing sports here, sets you up for all kinds of things you can do, after college. Sure. And whenever your sports career comes to an end. And
lots of connections right?
I don't even know what town in Oklahoma State is in, and it doesn't matter because it's Oklahoma.
Sure.
North Texas.
I guess before NIL, I kind of felt proud of some of our players that went on to bigger P5 schools, but not a whole lot. But now with NIL and all the money and everything, I'm not cheering for you. Go away.
I think actually it should be the other way around. I think if
you
anything,
want to cheer for him for going to get money.
Not that I want to cheer for him, but before NIL and all the portal and stuff like that, you had to sit a year and then play whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That means you really did not want to play for my program. You hated Georgia State so bad that you wanted to go waste a year of eligibility to go to another school to practice.
You're getting paid under the table for a year.
Yeah. But at least now it's kind of like, all right, they're going to give me $150,000 before the season starts to come play for them. And I mean, hell, you remember what you were like when you were 19, 20 years old and someone flashed if someone had flashed $150,000 in front of you to come, move for a year to Oklahoma, you're like, all right, cool, I'll take that. Especially if you think that you do not have, the next level ability, you got to get that paycheck while you can, right?
Yeah, you do. I mean, NIL is here. NIL is here to stay. I don't know if college sports figures out how to fine tune NIL. It's going to take it a couple more years. But did you hear what goes on today with NIL? They have agents that have stables of athletes that are on teams, and they invite coaches into Zoom meetings, like you're in your all hands meeting with your company, and you could see your own players represented by an agent on a Zoom meeting, and you're in there and they're trying to pimp them out. I'm like, that's just insane.
Yeah, who I saw an interview with it. It was Kirby. He's like, why would I want to go on this Zoom call and just find my own players in this thing? But they bring so the agents bring in all these players that they represent or whatever, and like say, hey, these are all these kind of guys. You can play with these guys. You can be with these guys. You can do this kind of stuff. And yeah, it's wild.
It's crazy. This is so crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
is it like not tampering because it's like a whole group of them because it's not like a one-on-one thing?
Right. It's like here's a bunch of people in a Zoom meeting all chit-chatting.
I think the tampering thing has been thrown out. I don't think they even care anymore.
Well, is it still technically on the books though that you're not supposed to while they're,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But from the sound
they
of
don't
things,
seem to care.
They don't seem to care.
I guess it would be there's no school that's tampering. If multiple schools or head coaches join a Zoom meeting with an agent and a bunch of athletes, there's no tampering because no school's directly reaching out to a player.
That's what I was wondering, if maybe that's why this is happening that way, because it's sort of a weird thing.
The Zoom room is the DMZ, right?
They're like, oh no, we just invited coaches to watch these kids. Like, there's no one-on-one anything. No recruiting's happening. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So there's that.
But good luck to him. No, just kidding. Fuck that guy.
I mean, like as a person, I hope he succeeds in life.
Like, hey, great. You balled out. You got paid. Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, so like one thing is most athletes are not gonna go professional, and so if you got a good opportunity to make $1 million or maybe even just a couple $100K, like you might want to do that right now. And then, I mean, if you're doing it right, you invest it and you set yourself up pretty good for the rest of your life. And
you definitely get on the ground running a lot better,
Yeah.
I've got no idea how much Freddie Brock got. He could have gotten 150. He could have gotten $5,000. I've got no idea what it is, but whatever it is, it's more than I had when I was a 21-year-old in college. And when I graduate, whatever job I had, if I could apply that money toward down payment on a house or just have something to live on while I figure out what's going on. Yeah. Kind of hard to know. Dana says, hey, Dana, thanks for watching, man. Money always there, just out in the open now. Fix the portal, one freebie, then to get us of the year. I feel like Ryan, before all this stuff came about, I know that you were like, why can't kids just transfer like any other college student can transfer? And that's where we're at now. And I tend to agree with you on that. It's hurting the sport, but why can't a kid transfer schools?
Look, what my stance on this all around is, if you think the sport will be better if the portal is not necessarily as flexible, right? That's okay. If we need to put rules back in place to limit some of that transfer stuff, that's fine. Just the coaches got to have it too. Limit the coaches exactly the same way. There's no difference. So why would we treat them any different than we do the athletes?
Employees versus students.
I mean,
then you got to kill the college part of it if they're an employee.
Yeah,
they're doing work for them, getting paid by them. And, how are they not employees?
I do agree with Dana. Multi-year contracts are next. They need to make these things contracts because,
and that solves some of it, because you have buyouts, right? So like, hey, you come here for a year and you have a 2-year contract. Sure, buy us out, and we'll get paid a little bit, and it'll help us get the next guy rolling. And so, yeah, I absolutely think that is probably something that will help alleviate some of the problems that we're seeing is with these multi-year contracts start rolling out. That'll be a good thing for it, I think.
Right.
I agree. I completely. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about anymore. Tim agreed so much he just left. So
I am still here.
There he is.
I had to get a delivery. I got a delivery.
Oh yeah, you got a refreshed beverage, hopefully.
Dude.
So, all right, and then the Players Association follows by union. Yeah, I don't even want to get into all that conversation. That's not to say that it won't happen, or even whether it should or should not happen. But yeah, that's definitely a conversation down the road that'll have to happen. So,
well, and there's the NIL deals where the players like go somewhere, get money, and then never play, and then go back in the portal. Like,
yeah, there's got to be some stipulations on that kind of stuff. Got to be some stipulations on that for sure. All right, what else we got? WreckTalk kind of took us to the hour point already.
Long.
Baseball kicked ass this weekend.
Some of the rest to last call.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
baseball kicked ass.
Nice.
Baseball turned it around. They looked kind of like they were flailing around, and then they decided to. Can't say hunker down, can I? It's Georgia, but they hunkered
balled
down.
out.
They balled out.
They balled out. Yeah, swept Jimmy Madison. I think it was like they outscored them 29-10 or something over the weekend. Just beat the snot out of them. Got beaten by run rule on Friday night, so that's good. But they have a hard stretch coming. Well, they beat
These two series.
Beat Jack's. Who they beat? They beat Jack State on Tuesday.
Jack State, yeah, came back from behind, which is impressive.
Right, but now they face number 21 in the nation, Coastal.
And then right after that, Southern Miss.
Southern Miss, who we are current. There's a 4-way tie at the top of the Sun Belt standings. Georgia State's one of the teams tied for first place. That is crazy wild.
With two of those teams, right?
Coastal and Southern Miss are two of them, and then you got Troy as another one. So, yeah.
Look, you take 2 or 3 of each series, gold.
Yeah.
Win nothing, we're right back in the gutter. 6 losses in a row would be devastating for us.
Are we at Coastal, or is Coastal here?
Coastal's here, yeah.
It is here?
Yeah, Coastal's here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we go to Southern Miss.
Southern Miss. Yeah, maybe I'll try to take the kids out to a game on Saturday or Sunday. I'm solo dadding it this weekend, so I get to figure out something to do with them. It's either that or just take them to the park, let them ride their bikes while I drink, which also sounds like a lot of fun. So anyhow, all right. Yeah, I think the rest of this stuff can totally be good last call material. So yeah, Tim, you want to take us out of here and lead into that, tease it up a little bit?
Well, thanks everyone for listening, especially WreckTalk for joining us for a little bit. We're going to take a quick break, restock the beverages. Already restocked mine. You guys are behind. And head over to Last Call. If you like what you heard or you didn't, doesn't matter. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/State of Atlanta. You'll get live stream access to Last Call, discounts on merch, group chat action, breaking news, adult beverages and tailgates, and a lot more. $5 is all it takes to become a fan of our show and support us. We'd love to have you aboard. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, or peace, or whatever I'm supposed to say.